They reached the top in 15 minutes. Half their brothers didn't make it up. What they found made their blood run cold. The weapons were gone. Just empty positions. Command had sent them to the wrong location. Now they were trapped on enemy ground. Surrounded. Cut off. Running out of ammunition. 2 days holding that cliff against constant attacks. Then one ranger spoke words that changed everything. What he said wasn't brave or heroic. It was brutally honest, and it kept them alive. Those words, they're finally being revealed after 80 years. June 6, 1944. Dawn breaks over the coast of Normandy. 225 U.S. Rangers stare up at a cliff that seems impossible to climb. Pointe du Hoc, a wall of rock shooting straight up 100 feet from the ocean. At the top, enemy defenders wait with weapons aimed down. The Rangers know what's up there. Heavy weapons, big ones, capable of tearing apart the invasion fleet just miles away. Thousands of Allied soldiers depend on these men. Their orders are simple. Climb that cliff. Eliminate the threat. But there's a problem. The cliff is slick from overnight rain. The rocks crumble under weight. And the defenders above? They're already firing down. Grenades, small arms, everything they have. The Rangers load into their landing crafts. Engines roar. Waves crash against the boats. Every man knows the odds. Most won't make it to the top, but they're going anyway. What happened in the next 15 minutes became the most brutal climb in military history. The boats hit the beach at 7:10 a.m., 40 minutes late. The defenders had time to prepare. Rangers jump into chest-deep water. Ropes and ladders get unloaded fast. They fire grappling hooks up the cliff face. Some hooks don't catch. They fall back down. Defenders cut the ropes that do hold. Rangers start climbing anyway, hand over hand, boots slipping on wet rock. Bullets crack past their heads. Men fall, some into the water below, others onto the rocks. The ones still climbing don't look down. They can't. Looking down means freezing. Freezing means dying. Sergeant Lamel pulls himself up using nothing but a thin rope. His hands bleed. He keeps going. Below him, a ranger loses his grip. Gone. Just like that. The cliff face becomes slick with more than just rain now. Every foot gained cost them, but they keep climbing. 15 agonizing minutes pass. When the first Rangers reached the top, they found something that made their mission even more dangerous. The first Rangers pull themselves over the edge, exhausted, gasping for air. But there's no time to rest. Defenders are everywhere. Close combat breaks out immediately. Rangers use knives, grenades, whatever they can grab. They clear the positions one by one. Slow, brutal, deadly. More Rangers make it to the top. The group grows. They push inland. Their target, the weapon positions marked on their maps. The big weapons that could destroy the invasion fleet. They reach the first position. Empty. Just a wooden pole painted to look like a weapon from the air. Their hearts sink. They run to the second position. Also empty. More fake weapons. The third position. Fourth. Fifth. All empty. Every single one. The intelligence was wrong. The weapons aren't here. Colonel Rudder realizes the truth. They climbed that cliff for nothing. Half his men are gone. The rest are trapped on top of enemy territory. Surrounded. Cut off from reinforcements. But then Sergeant Lamel noticed something strange in the distance that changed everything. Lamel spots fresh tank tracks in the mud, leading inland, away from the cliff. He grabs Sergeant Kuhn. They follow the tracks, moving quietly through hedgerows and fields. No backup, just 2 men. The tracks lead to a hidden road, camouflaged under trees and netting. Then they see them. The weapons. All 5 of them, massive artillery pieces pointed toward the beaches, ready to fire. Unguarded. The defenders moved them inland to protect them from naval bombardment. They plan to roll them out when the invasion started. Lomel's mind races. They have no explosives left, just thermite grenades, the kind used for destroying equipment. He looks at Kuhn. They both know what to do. They sneak between the weapons, plant grenades in the mechanisms, the aiming systems, the firing chambers, everything critical. One by one. 5 weapons, destroyed in minutes. The mission they climbed that cliff for, completed by just 2 men. But their fight on top of Pointe du Hoc was just beginning.
Back at the cliff top, the situation gets worse. Enemy forces realize Americans are on their position. They attack, hard, wave after wave. The Rangers dig in. They use captured weapons, ammunition from fallen defenders, anything they can find. Their own supplies ran out hours ago. Radio communication is spotty. Reinforcements can't reach them. The path up the cliff is too dangerous. They're alone. Colonel Rudder sets up a command post in a crater. Men rotate through defensive positions. Every Ranger fights.
Back at the cliff top, the situation gets worse. Enemy forces realize Americans are on their position. They attack, hard. Wave after wave, the Rangers dig in. They use captured weapons, ammunition from fallen defenders, anything they can find. Their own supplies ran out hours ago. Radio communication is spotty. Reinforcements can't reach them. The path up the cliff is too dangerous. They're alone. Colonel Rudder sets up a command post in a crater. Men rotate through defensive positions. Every Ranger fights, even the wounded. They have no choice. Night falls. The attacks continue. Flares light up the sky. Shadows move everywhere. Friend or foe? Hard to tell. Rangers shoot at anything that moves beyond their perimeter. The next morning brings no relief. More attacks. Heavier this time. Coordinated. Professional. The Rangers are down to 90 men now. Started with 225. More than half gone in 24 hours. Ammunition is critical. Food is gone. Water almost empty. Then, one Ranger said something that kept them fighting when surrender seemed like the only option. Day 2 on the cliff. Rangers are exhausted, desperate, running on nothing. Some whisper about surrender. Maybe the defenders would treat them as prisoners. Better than dying on this cliff. That's when First Sergeant Lomel speaks up. His words are heroic, not movie-like at all. He says something simple, honest. We climbed that cliff. We're not giving it back. That's it. No big speech, no inspirational talk. Just a fact. They paid for this ground in blood. Too many brothers died getting here. Giving up would make their sacrifice meaningless. The word spread through the defensive positions, Ranger to Ranger, man to man. Something shifts. They stop thinking about surrender. They start thinking about holding. One more hour, one more attack, one more day, whatever it takes. The defenders attack again at noon. The Rangers fight back harder, using rocks when bullets run out, fighting hand to hand when defenders get close. On June 8th, something finally changed that gave them hope. Morning of the 3rd day. A Ranger on watch spots movement, different this time. Not defenders, American uniforms, moving carefully through the fields below. Reinforcements. Finally. The relief force fought their way inland from Omaha Beach. It took them 2 days to reach Pointe du Hoc. 2 days of brutal combat through hedgerows and machine gun nests. But they made it. The Rangers on the cliff are down to 90 men, many wounded, all exhausted. They held their position for 48 hours against constant attacks. Cut off, outnumbered, low on everything. When the relief force reaches them, nobody cheers, nobody celebrates. They're too tired, too numb. The medics treat the wounded. Fresh ammunition gets distributed. Food, water, simple things that feel like luxury now. The Rangers finally rotate off the defensive line. Some sleep right there in the dirt. Others just sit, staring at nothing, processing what they survived. What those rangers said after being relieved revealed the true cost of their mission. Reporters arrive days later. They want to hear about the heroic climb, the brave assault, the glorious victory. But the rangers don't talk like that. One ranger, when asked how he felt, says simply, "We did what we came to do." No pride, no glory, just tired truth. Another says, "Too many good men didn't make it down." They don't want to be called heroes. They think about the ones who fell during the climb, the ones who died holding the position, the friends who never made it home. Colonel Rudder writes in his report, "Mission accomplished. Cost heavy. Of the 225 rangers who started the climb, only 90 could still fight by the end. The weapons they destroyed never fired on the beaches. Thousands of Allied soldiers lived because of what happened on that cliff. But the rangers who survived, they carried those 3 days with them forever. What they said after Pointe du Hoc wasn't about glory, it was about remembering the cost of the ground they held. The simple words, 'We did what we came to do,' became the unofficial motto of the Ranger battalions, a reminder that duty isn't about glory, but about the men beside you and the mission that must be completed, no matter the cost. The U.S. Rangers at Pointe du Hoc showed what true courage means on D-Day. Their bravery during the Normandy invasion changed history. These World War II soldier experiences remind us that heroic actions come from ordinary men facing impossible missions. The Ranger testimony and accounts reveal faith in each other kept them going. Their stories of determination inspire us today. If this D-Day Rangers mission moved you, like and subscribe for more untold World War II bravery stories from history's greatest operations.